beautiful goddesses. I'm so happy to be back on the Hello Goddess podcast. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Renee. So, Renee is an ex accountant, CPA, who decided to let go of her prestigious title and career after a life changing experience so she could focus on what really sets her soul on fire, helping women. Love that. As a multi business owner and podcast host, ItsRenee Podcast, she has one goal: to help women feeling lost find themselves and unleash their inner badass. Authenticity and vulnerability is what she preaches. So, without further ado, let's welcome Renee. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hello Goddess podcast. I am your host, Mandy de Grace. I am a Reiki practitioner, a wellness lover, and a spiritual seeker. And today we have a very special guest. I'm really excited to have Renee with me today.
Oh, thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, you already heard the bio. I already read it for you guys. So before we go into it, me and Renee, we've known each other for a long time. We were talking about that in the interviewing process that we used to go to primary school together.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like forever ago, but
Oh,
I remember you.
I remember you too. I don't think we ever talked much, but you were a little bit older than me, so
Yeah.
that would make sense. All right. So Renee has her own podcast that I listened to the other day, and I had to have her on the on my podcast because I love her energy, I love her message, I love her vision. And before we go into the questions, I would love if you would take us back in time and maybe explain to us your journey that got you where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So, long story short, because it's a really long one, but essentially, I'm an accountant CPA, so that's what I studied for, and I was happily climbing the corporate ladder. Got my dream job, and I just felt like unfulfilled. Like I felt
Mm,
uninspired. I
mhm,
felt like I was missing out on something. I just didn't really know what. But then I didn't feel like I could feel that in my mind, but it's like my heart was not there yet.
okay.
Um, so I had an experience in my life where my ex-husband wanted a divorce. So at that point in time, it was very unexpected, very chaotic for me. And
Mm,
it was really that experience that changed my life like forever. It was kind of a blessing in disguise. Like it was
mm,
extremely hard. And like to this day, like I don't wish this on my worst enemy, but it really was kind of like the door for me to finally start working on that hard part and figure out who I really was as an adult and what I wanted out of life. And that's where I discovered like personal development and manifestation and everything that you can do with your mind. So I really started to tap into that, and then it got
mhm.
me to coaching and how I'm slowly taking a step back from accounting. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Love that so much. I think we have a lot in common when I look at your timeline. Like for me, I was in a traditional path as well. I was going to university and I had this breaking point. And there's always the moment, the
oh
pivotal
yeah,
moment. For you, it was your divorce. For me, it
yeah.
was something else. And it's like, if you're called to do something huge in this lifetime, you have to go through that, like the breaking point, the rock bottom, to be able to rise up and then show other people how to rise up as well. And
I
that's what I really connect with you on that part for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, at that moment when it was all happening, I was like, why is this happening to me? Like,
Yep.
why am I going through this? And then one day I was just like, I was listening to something, and the lady said, you can let the situation break you or
Hmm.
break you open. And that was kind of
Yeah.
like my moment where I don't know, the light bulb just just went on, and I was like, okay, this is it. Like I need to get out of this. And
Yep.
I promised myself at the time, like if I do get out of this dark hole, like I'm going to make it my life's mission to help people that are in the same situation, essentially.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so inspiring. I'm sure a lot of listeners might be going through that difficult moment, that like darkness, and they feel like, why is this happening to me? And in the moment, you don't understand, but later on in hindsight, you had
Yep.
to go through that experience to get that wisdom, to get the knowledge and the inner power, the confidence to go where you want to go. Hmm.
Absolutely. Like I didn't even know that you could work on yourself and work on your mindset. Like I had no idea what personal development was, or maybe I knew, but I thought it was weird. I was like, why are people working on themselves? I was like, this is so strange. But then I had no choice but to do that. So I really got into it and realized in such a short period of time what I was able to accomplish and the things that I was able to do. Like I really became addicted to accomplishing things and moving forward and growing and evolving. As hard as it is really rewarding when you do get on the other side of it.
100% I agree with you. Me too. Like before I went into reading those spiritual and self-development books, I was like living in this little box and I
Yeah.
didn't believe that it was possible to have a different mindset. So I was trying to like change things by force in the outside world instead of like shifting within and then aligning myself to what I want. So
Exactly.
I hear you 100%. By curiosity, what are your favorite books for self-development?
So when I started, there's like maybe two, three books that really like left a mark on me, I guess. One of them was Super Attractor by
Ooh.
Gabrielle Bernstein. I really enjoyed that one. And I tend to listen to audiobooks instead of reading paper format just because I feel like when it's audio, you can almost like feel it a little bit more. I
Mhm.
just like hearing like the tone of their voices and what like the energy behind what they're saying. So I
Yeah.
really love that one. The Secret by Rhonda Burns. This is really what got me into, I can attract things with just my mind. Like this is very interesting. So that was kind of like the beginning of that manifestation journey for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would probably be like my two favorite books from starting my journey.
That's beautiful. I love that. There's so many really good books out there, but those are really
I
nice
know.
ones. I love Gabby Bernstein too.
Oh, and I need to mention the final one because I can't even believe I didn't say it. It really, like to this day, I still read it over and over. It's called When You're Ready, This Is How You Heal. Um,
Ooh, never heard of that one.
oh, it's like absolutely crazy. And the author, like the name is just slipping off my mind right now. But if you type that, you will find it. It's very, very eye-opening and it really helped me. It still helps me. Like I have it, like all of my other books are like tucked in my library, and this one is just laying on a table because sometimes I just pick it up and it's it's amazing. If
Mm,
you're ready to heal and you just don't know like what to start with, that
hmm.
book is
What's
gold.
the name again?
It's When You're Ready, This Is How You Heal.
Wow, I love the title already.
I know, I know. I
Yeah.
think it's from Brianna Weist. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I
Okay,
think that's from
not
her.
sure either. Yeah, I probably butchered the name Gabrielle Bernstein. Bernstein. I'm not sure how to
Yeah,
pronounce
I
her
don't
name too,
know.
but we know who we're talking about.
Exactly.
But yeah, books are so powerful and life changing. Audiobooks or real books doesn't matter. Like or even podcasts. Like really exposing yourself to new ideas and understanding that there's always a solution to every single problem that we can have. The solution mindset is something that I'm sure you like to preach as well, like to focus on the
Oh,
positive and
absolutely. Like I remember like thinking like it can't be that simple. Like my coach was like telling me, I was bringing up situation and in my mind it was so negative and complex, and he would just
yeah.
take that situation and turn it around so simply and so beautifully, and I was like, it is that simple. And when you start embracing that positive mindset and really trying to find like the positive side to everything,
Yeah.
everything else changes.
Yeah.
It's like you need to train your brain to do it though. Like I find it like still today, like I will have my moments, but I just catch myself and I take myself back. But
Yeah.
once you start living like that, life is amazing.
Absolutely. And it's true. I had the same feeling too. Like, I realized that life doesn't have to be so hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It can be like very soft and graceful and open and loving. And
I,
like all the problems, most problems that we have are self created.
yeah. Yeah.
And then you talk to someone like a coach or whoever, like a spiritual guide, and they'll tell you, like, no, no, no,
Yep.
like it's okay. You can
Yeah.
see this differently. Look at it. This the quote from Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes, exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. It's so powerful what you can do and accomplish with your mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I heard, you also offer coaching. Is that right?
Ooh, so I offer one-on-one coaching. And currently I'm running a workshop,
Ooh.
a group workshop. It's the first time I'm running that. Yeah, it's really fun. I love it. I'm happy I started doing that. So, but I would say like my niche client, or like the
Hmm.
clients that I can really connect with, are women that
Hmm.
are either going through a separation or a divorce, or they it like maybe they lost themselves over the years, like kind of in adulthood, and they're trying to find their way back and
Hmm.
build something for themselves. That's really kind of the women that I love working with, because I feel like I can really help them because I've been there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I love my coaching.
That's beautiful. And they say the best client you can have is who you were 3 years ago or 5 years ago, right? Like somebody
Yeah.
that you can relate to. And then like even if you're only a few steps ahead, you can help that person, guide them and show them the way. So that's beautiful. I'm really happy you're doing that work right now because it is very needed in the world.
I agree. I agree. And I think when I was going through my dark period, I remember like I was so desperate trying to get help, and I was looking
Yep.
for psychologists out there, and I remember calling like over 10 offices around where I live, and nobody had like space for me. Like nobody could get me
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, this is insane. Like
It's
I'm out
crazy.
there, yeah, I'm out there looking for help, like feeling so desperate, and
Hmm.
my life is a mess and I can't speak to anyone. So that was
Hmm.
really kind of a driving force for me, thinking like if I ever get out of this position, if I
Hmm.
make it on the other side, like I'm going to be that person for as many people as I can.
I
And
have
I
chills. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's true. Like we need people that are leading the way and sharing their
Mhm.
light, and yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and therapy is a beautiful process. Sometimes we can get the help other ways. Like some people read books, some people have coaches,
Yeah.
some people have therapists, like whatever you need to get through and to, grow and become the person that you want to be. That's the main thing. And I feel like the work that you're doing, you're really shining a light in the world, and people can, look at you for guidance and for clarity. So I'm really, really happy. I applaud you for your work.
Oh, thank you so much. That makes me happy.
So do you have like maybe the next 5 years, 10 years, do you have a vision of where you want to go?
So, yes, I would love to have a family. This
Mm,
has been a goal of mine for at least over a year now. So that would be one thing. I see myself doing this full time. Like I'm very passionate about this is what like it brings that fire in me. Like this is what fuels my soul. Like it makes me so happy when I can inspire and empower women. That's really my focus and kind of where I want to go. I want to bring my business to whichever level I can. Sky's the limit, or
mm.
there's no limit. So yeah, so doing this full time, living freely. Like I want to be free with my time and what I decide to do with my days, and
Mm-hmm.
really just embrace being me and being happy and share that with the world.
Mm. Beautiful, beautiful. I would say the exact same thing for myself. I'm really glad we connected.
I know, right? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
The work that you do is beautiful as well, and I get inspired by looking at your page. It's
Aw.
very inviting. Like,
Oh, thank you so
very nice.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So before we end the interview, first of all, I want to say that if you want to find Renee's work, I'm going to put all of her links in the description box, whether you're on YouTube or on my Facebook, or you're listening to the audio on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Everything's going to be there. If you want to go support her, you will love what she's doing. That's why I wanted her on my podcast. And before we go, I usually have two questions that I like to ask my guests. The
Sure.
first one is, if you could go back in time and talk to small Renee, little Renee in the
Mhm.
past, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that everything that she needs is already within, that she doesn't have to seek any external validation or look outside for love and light and guidance. Like everything is within. I think that for me was a very powerful realization when I did it, and it's been guiding me since. Like I feel like the only person I really truly need in my life is myself, and I think knowing this younger would have made a massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, any of the younger women listening, listen to her
Yeah.
advice. We all have it within us, and we
Yeah.
have all the tools that we need. We just have to
Mhm.
open our eyes and our hearts.
Yeah.
And the last question I have for you is, what is your definition of a goddess?
So I think a goddess to me is a woman that can shine her light and like get love out of her through being authentic and being vulnerable, but at the same time, still be fierce and go for her goal. A goddess is beauty inside and out. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I really preach is you can be the prettiest on the outside, but what you have inside is really what shines through, and
Yep.
that's really what I want in my surroundings.
I love that so much. Beautiful, beautiful answer. So, before we end this episode, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners today?
I think I would say like don't, you know, don't be afraid to be yourself, to be vulnerable, to express how you're feeling, what you want, go for what you want. There is people out there that are just they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to
Mhm,
make that step, to take that leap of faith. And whenever you think that you're alone, just remember there's always someone that looks up to you,
mhm,
and you're inspiring them. So whatever you're doing, just keep that in mind. Like that's kind of something that kept me going is I was like, no matter what, if I think I'm moving fast enough or not, I know there's someone out there that's
mhm,
needing what I'm doing right now. So just that kept me going.
mhm,
um, so if you have kids especially, or anyone, friends going through things, just remember what you're going through is helping people out there. So yeah.
mhm. Beautiful. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and your love and your light. And yeah, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. This was so fun, and I can't wait to have you on mine.
Yeah, I can't wait. Me too.
Yay.
All
Awesome.
right. I'm wishing you all a beautiful day. Love you guys so much, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
So, this concludes the podcast episode with Renee. I'm so happy she was able to come on my show. If you enjoyed her energy, her work, definitely check out the links below to find her podcast and her Instagram. And I'm sending you guys all of the love, all of the light, and the Reiki energy. Bye.